Hey, Pre-Algebra students, this is Mr. Giomini. I feel like I haven't been able to teach our current chapter of study because we've been doing some review and things of that, and I haven't seen you for 2 days this week, so it'd be nice to get back into things. So we know we have our test next Tuesday, so I want to spend a little bit of time reviewing. Obviously, before the test, we still have one lesson left in this chapter, but let's take a look at some things we've done in the previous lessons. So you'll notice the way I have this set up is I'll have a problem, just an example problem, and then in the bottom left to kind of show you what lesson that corresponds with, what that skill would be from. So if I look at the first one here, I have 2/3 minus 11, minus 6h equals negative 11/6. Well, what I could do here is I could get rid of this 2/3, so I could add 2/3, or I'm sorry, see, it's been so long since I've done this stuff. I can subtract 2/3 from both sides, so let's subtract 2/3 from both sides. I should immediately see that obviously 2/3 and thirds and 6 don't talk, but I could convert the thirds to 6. I'm going to do that. So if I ask myself, what did I multiply 3 by to make it 6? I multiplied it by 2, so this becomes 4. So now I have a negative 11 minus 4, a negative 11/6 minus 4/6. Well, if I recall, it's really a negative 11/6 plus the opposite of 4/6, which is negative 4/6. So that's going to give me, let's see, 11 plus 4 is at 15. Does that give me, let's see, so we have negative 6h is equal to negative, and that is negative 15/6. Now that can be simplified, but I'm going to hold off on simplifying that just yet. I am now going to go to the next step, which I have negative 6h, and that is equal to negative 15/6. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. So if I divide both sides by negative 6, let's take a look. Divide by negative 6. Divide this by negative 6. So we have negative 15/6 divided by negative 6 over 1. But remember, I'm going to take the reciprocal of that. Don't I do that, I believe? Am I going to find the reciprocal of that? So that's negative 15/6 times negative 1/6. Well, I have a negative times a negative. Well, that'll give me a positive. Okay, now I can cross reduce this. 3 goes into both, I believe. 3 goes into this twice. 3 goes into this 5 times. So all I'm left with over here is h. And h is going to equal to, and this is a negative, so we have a negative times a negative. That gives me a positive. That's 5/12. So my answer would be h equals 5/12. Okay, let's take a look at another one from lesson 10.2. So looking at lesson 10.2, I'll give you a little story problem because we did struggle with these story problems. Problem says Emma had a $10 gift certificate to her favorite restaurant, Arby's. Congratulations, Emma. It says after a 10% tip was added to the bill, the $10 was deducted. The amount she paid was $4.40. What was the original bill? Well, I am looking for the original bill, and I know whatever it is, it's going to be something. She took whatever the bill was, she added to that 20% of the bill. She gave a tip. I don't know who gives tips at Arby's, but I guess Emma does. 20% of the bill, 20% of B. Now we're going to take $10 away because she had the little coupon, gift certificate, and altogether that's going to equal Emma's $4.40. So I have my equation. Now what I'm going to do is probably convert that 20% into its decimal equivalent, which was 2/10. So now I have B plus, 2/10 B minus 10 is equal to $4.40. Okay, first step here, I may combine like terms. Well, this is really 1B plus 2/10 of a B, so that's 1 and 2/10 B minus 10 is equal to $4.40. That's an ugly decimal, Mr. Giomini. Okay, I will now add 10 to both sides. So let's add 10 to both sides. Now, notice how I didn't line that decimal up, so let's make sure when I do that up. So it's 1 and 2/10 times B is equal to, now if I add that 10, that's really the 40 cents stays the same. 10 plus 4 is 14, so I have $14.40. Now I need to solve for 1B, not 1 and 2/10, so I'll divide both sides by 1 and 2/10. Divide both sides by 1 and 2/10. I'm going to be left with B is equal to, now let's see here, $14.40 divided by, that's an ugly 1 2/10. Multiply both by 10 to get that decimal out of there. So it becomes 12. That comes 144 divided by 12. And I believe, let's see here. Let's see, 12 goes into 14 once. That's 12. Subtract, that's 2. Bring down the 4. 12 goes into 24 twice. The decimal point would be here. That's nothing left over. So the original bill was, bill equals $12. Okay. I worry about that one on the post test, guys. That's a little tough one for us. So let's take a look at the next one. This is from lesson 10.3. Now we have those different denominators. A couple of things I can do right here. I just might, just to make this a little easier myself, I'm going to look at the denominators here, 5 and 10, and I ask myself what's their least common multiple, and it is 10. So I'm going to multiply this whole thing by 10. So I'm going to cross this 5 out because 5 goes into 10 twice, so that means I'm going to multiply this by 2. 2 times 2n is 4n. Okay, plus 10 goes into 10 once, so that just stays n because that n cancels out. Now I have minus 10 times 4 is 40. I have to multiply all the terms now by 10. All these terms by 10. Okay, that's 40. That equals 10 times 6, I'm sorry, is 60. Plus 3 times 10 is 30, and that's 30n. Don't forget that variable with the coefficient there. Minus 150. Okay, let's go about combining like terms. So I see I have 4n's here and an n here. That gives me 5n. So I have 5n minus 40 is equal to, I have 60 minus 150. So it becomes 60 plus the opposite of 150, which is negative 150. Signs are opposite, so instead of adding, what I'll do is subtract. If I think about them at 60, on the number line I go 150 to the left. That'll give me negative 90. So I'm going to have 30n minus 90. Okay. Now I could do this in one step. I could add 90 to both sides to get my integers on that one side. And then I could subtract the 5n from this side, get my coefficients on the same side. So let's try that. So I'm left with negative 40 plus 90, which gives me 50. 50 is equal to 30n minus 5n is 25n. I will now divide both sides by 25, and I will get n is equal to 2. I like that problem. All right, take a look at lesson 10.4. Same type of thing, boys and girls. Now we just have inequalities. So notice here I have many different denominators. I have a 3, a 2, and a 6. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the whole thing through by 6 because that's their least common multiple. So I say 3 goes into 6 twice, so I'll multiply 2x by 2. That gives me 4x's now. That's nice. I will now say plus. How many times does 2 go into 6? 2 goes into 6 3 times, so I'll multiply this by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. That is less than or equal to. 6 goes into 6 once, so that cancels out. I have 1 times 5 is 5. Okay, subtract both sides. 3. Leave that coefficient over here by itself for a little bit. We have 4x is less than or equal to, that's 2. I'll divide both sides by 4 because I want to evaluate for 1x. So 1x is going to be less than or equal to, well, 2/4 reduces to 1/2. And there we go. If I were to graph that, it would look something like this. I'll make it very small so I can fit it here. That's 1/2. It's a positive 1/2. X is less than or equal to, so that means 1/2. Well, that's not a negative 1/2. It should be 1/2 like this. 1/2 is x is less than or equal to 1/2, so less than 1/2 would go to the left. Okay, now look at another quick example. Let me change colors up here. I have negative 8x minus 12 is greater than or equal to 52. First thing I do is get rid of this integer, so add 12 to both sides. I can already see how this problem's unfolding just because I've had experience with these. So it's 52 plus 12, that gives me 64. Now notice I am dividing by a negative 8. When you divide both sides of inequality by a negative, you are going to reverse the inequality symbol to make the inequality still true, and I solve this. So this could be cancelled out. So now x is no longer greater than or equal to, x is less than or equal to 64 divided by negative 8 is negative 8. So I would say that x has to be less than or equal to negative 8. less than or equal to, it means it's filled in, and it's less than, so it goes to the left. If I substitute this in, let's get a number that's less than -8. Let's try -10. Substitute in -10, so I have -8 times -10. That gives me 80. 80 minus 12 gives me, somebody tell me 68. Is 68 greater than or equal to 52? Yes, so that will work. All right, last one. Lesson 10-5, I believe that's solving for a variable. So it says a minus b plus 2 equals c. Solve for b. Okay, so let's solve for b. I'm going to rewrite this over here. A minus b plus 2 equals c. So let's solve for b. So let's get all this stuff out of the way. Let's get rid of the a, and let's get rid of the 2. So get rid of the a, get rid of the 2. So now I'm left with negative b is equal to c minus a minus 2. But remember, we can't, it doesn't say solve for a negative b, it says solve for a positive b. So the thing I do to get rid of that negative is I'm going to multiply through by a negative, because a negative times a negative will get a positive. So that's left with b then is equal to negative c plus a plus 2. Okay, and finally last one we have 1/2 x minus 2 equals y. Solve for x. Okay, so we have 1/2 x minus 2 equals y. Let's solve for x. So first thing I do is add 2 to both sides. So I'm left with 1/2 x is equal to y plus 2. Okay, I need to get rid of that half, so I'll divide both sides by a half. But to divide by a half is the same as multiplying it by 2. These cancel out, so I have x is equal to, now I'm going to multiply this thing by I'm going to divide by a half, so really multiply by its reciprocal, or the reciprocal of 1/2 is, or the inverse is 2. So I multiply that whole side by 2, so that's y plus 2. We multiply that by 2, so I have x is equal to 2y plus 4. Alright, hope this helps you out with reviewing. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow and really getting in this, back into these equations that we've been working on lately. Okay, take care. Bye.